We'll dive in with a conversation that we had when the schedule came out. We all looked at the schedule and said, whoa. The Browns have a bye in week 5. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's too early. You want it later in the season when you really start to accumulate some injuries. Mm-hmm. Then lo and behold, DeShawn Watson gets dinged up. Now, it would have been better if they had a week 4 bye, which I don't think anybody did. The byes start next week.
Yeah.
But it would have been better and perfect timing if it was at the time that he got injured. Do we still hate having the bye so early? What do we think about that?
I mean, I don't know how we could hate it now. It's perfect timing. DeShawn clearly was unable to go last week, but is close enough that 2 weeks off, because it'll be 2 weeks between last week and this week, he should be good to go.
Gosh, he better, because GM said he's going to play.
He did. Like, the players say
Which I think that was a misstep, but...
Well, it's only a misstep if he doesn't play.
Well, there's always a chance something happens and he doesn't.
You're right.
And we saw what happened when DeShawn said he was going to play, and then he didn't.
But a player is more likely to be a little loose with, I'm going to play or not.
Sure.
Whereas a GM, especially a buttoned-up GM like
this
Andrew
GM
Berry,
has said he's going to be fine. He'll be out there.
He is, so I'm expecting him to play, and who knows if he would have said that if they were playing this week.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing arguably the best team in football, certainly one of the best teams in football.
Well, the team that takes its most pound of flesh out of you. What was the stat last year? The teams the week after they played the 49ers were 0-16.
That's correct.
They beat you up.
Yeah, to me, I'm with you. I would have not made the mistake, because anytime you're dealing with health and you're dealing with different things, even when you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you need something done, the first thing you ask is, what's the percentage of success? And they're like, well, we got to get in, we got to look at it.
Sure.
They're not going to give you, even when you got even when you got a terminal illness, they're not going to just be like, yeah, we're just going to tell you what it is, because as a doctor, you can't with any certain guarantee or certainty that that's going to happen. So if I was Andrew Berry, I'd be like, well, listen, we'll hope he'll be back.
Yeah, that's what I would
I get what you guys are saying. Ultimately, DeShawn must have been so close to playing that they feel like there's no way he's not going to play in 2 weeks. Again, it could change. But are you excited that the bye week is here now? Even though we didn't like it here in the beginning.
Oh, listen, I mean, that's the best thing. I mean, the bye week, when you held him out, he essentially gets 3 weeks, right? Like, he didn't play last week. You got the bye week this week. Then you got a whole nother week of practice before you get to another Sunday.
Yeah.
It works out well. And for another reason, I think, as I went back, and maybe I got too much time in my hands. I went back, I watched the All-22 again. I was like, hold on, let me figure this out. Because, there were some things where, and I think Quincy Carrier, I'll give him credit for this. He talked about there's some things where the Browns run plays and you don't know what their landmarks or their keys are, like what the progression is in the passing game. And so sometimes you can run these routes, and the quarterback, the offensive coordinator tells the quarterbacks, hey, on this play, the progression is this. You're going to look first to Amari Cooper. That's number one. If he don't have it, you're going to move your eyes to the tight end on this shallow cross. If that's not available, check down, right?
Right.
Sometimes there's not even a progression for people that's running routes. That's why sometimes backside when they say you dogging it backside, because they know they're not in that progression. So they don't, why would I run a route hard? So I went back and looked at it, and I just think there's a lot of times when you see DeShawn Watson and DTR, they're looking first for a guy that in the route progression is not open, or it's a very difficult throw. Like some of these progressions is like you read high low a lot. You got to if the defensive if the safety bounces back and then the linebacker comes forward, then you hit a guy. That's hard to read, especially when you ain't got that much time. So I'm hoping they go back into this in this bye week and say, okay, let's rethink some of these progressions. Maybe it is better to put David Njoku as the first read. Just some quick stuff. Hey, he's going to chip and get
he was open
all the time in the flats.
All day.
All the time.
They need to. I mean, with your opponent being great defensively and your quarterback being banged up and your left tackle being terrible, those
simple.
three things combined make me think we need to, like, the Browns at the moment should not be looking to throw the ball down the field in this game.
Right. Keep it simple.
They need quick passes.
Yeah, quick two-step drops.
Yeah.
Get it out.
I mean,
get it out.
We can't afford to have DeShawn Watson take too many hits in this game.
On the bye, I'm still not in love with it where it is. I know that we kind of caught a break, but it would have been a real break if it happened directly after the DeShawn Watson injury, and he wouldn't have had to miss any games. Mm-hmm. So would he be able to play on Sunday? Well, he's thought on Friday he would be able to play in 2 days.
Yeah.
So my guess is he would have been able to play this Sunday anyhow. So I'm just a fan of getting the bye more in week 9, week 10, or even later. And the reason being, it's a battle of attrition. You know this. Sometimes it's death by a million cuts. All of the hits sort of add up, and they take their toll. And I remember one year when I was covering the Bucs, it wasn't the year they won the Super Bowl, it was the year they made in the NFC Championship game. Their bye week was like in week 11. And all of the players, every single one, said, this is perfect. This is perfect. We feel like we're at mile 25 right now of the marathon, and we don't know how we're going to squeeze out that last mile. However, knowing we have 14 days between car collisions, which is what it's like to play in a football game, they all had their batteries recharged. They all felt great. All the nicks and dings and sores and pains that add up had a chance to heal, and they came back really strong. Think about this, guys. When the Browns play the 49ers for their 5th game, they're going to have football games in 12 straight weeks without a break.
All the way to it snowing.
However,
and if they make the playoffs,
keep moving.
However,
so that's tough.
They get a mini bye late in the season.
They have a Thursday game.
They have
late.
a Thursday game in week 17.
But that also means that they're playing on 3 days rest.
Well, but
no, I know it's
right.
It's,
that's true.
The benefit of that is once they're done with the Thursday, they've got 10 days to get ready. But the bad thing is they're going to play a game on Sunday, and in 3 days later to recoup, they're going to get ready for another game.
The good news is their Thursday night game is at home, which is
Who's
a big
that against?
advantage. Jets.
Ooh, okay.
So
I'm not ready to say the Jets are an easy pushover yet, because I watched them against the Chiefs.
Well, here's the thing too. We talk about the schedule. Now you have to play. I'm surprised we haven't done it. Yet last year we did it because we were quickly running out of games to say whether we were going to be in contention when DeShawn Watson came back. But you look at the schedule. On paper, it says that your schedule gets a little better after you get to, per se, the 49ers. So you got the bye week. I think week 6 is the 49ers.
What are you saying? The schedule's tougher than we thought? Well, is that what you... Well, let's look at it now.
I think so, yeah.
Well, let's go through all these games right now.
Colts beat the Ravens.
Hold on one second. Let's say if this game on paper today is easier, harder, or the same as what we thought before the season.
Great idea.
I would
think
say
they're all harder.
The Niners is a wash. We thought they were going to be great. They're great.
But they're even better than I thought they were going to be.
Maybe because Brock Purdy has cemented it with
You're right,
another 4
and that's
games.
why. That's exactly why I would
Colts
say they're better.
Colts are better than we thought.
They beat the Ravens. They're better. The Seahawks boat raced the Giants, and their defense got 11 sacks.
And it's at Seattle.
So that's harder. Yeah,
Cardinals,
that's almost
I still think
you never win in Seattle.
I still think the Cardinals are not very good, but they're a little better than we thought.
I
know, but they've been bad the other
Josh
times.
Dobbs' revenge game.
I know, but they beat the Cowboys. You're right.
But, Jay, they also blew a big lead to the Giants, who were terrible.
They did. I know, and I can't. But I never would have had them beating the Cowboys. Never in a million years.
And they played decent against the 49ers. It wasn't like the 49ers like smoked them or something.
They were never winning that game.
They also blew a lead against Washington. They've been frisky. They're not good.
They're frisky.
But they're frisky.
The Browns, a game the Browns should win. But yes, I agree. I thought the Cardinals
those are harder.
I thought the Cardinals would be what the Bears are and what the Panthers are. They're not. They're a notch above that.
Yeah, to me, they're like the Buccaneers. Everybody thought the Buccaneers were going to win 3 or 4 games.
Right.
And
I think the Buccaneers are better than the Cardinals.
You had the Buccaneers winning 5.
I don't know if I said 5, but I think they were going to be good.
After Baker won his first game, you go, it doesn't matter. He's still on a 5-win team.
But they're better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, they're better than I thought.
Show the next group of games.
The Texans ain't.
So we still got the Ravens.
Ravens to me are a little better than I thought they would be at the moment. The Steelers are about what I thought they'd be.
Broncos are worse than I thought they'd be.
Broncos are worse. Rams are better. I thought the Rams would be terrible.
Jags are worse, too.
Jags are worse at the moment, but I could see them being back to what we thought.
They might figure it out like they did last year.
But the Rams are definitely better. The Rams are a competitive team.
These are all toss-ups.
And by the way,
It's the NFL.
If you
Bears,
go back to those, you have 2 West Coast games, essentially
Yeah.
West Coast
But
games in a row. You're
all
at
these
Denver and
games-
you're at the Rams.
all these teams are worse except for the Texans than we thought they'd be.
Well, the Bears will be
Yes,
be tanking.
you're right.
You could almost
The Bears are
pencil it in.
awful.
The
Texans
Bears
are better.
will lose that
Jets
game.
are not as good as we thought they'd be, and the Bengals are not as good as we thought.
But the Jets got a great defense. They got a good defense, man.
Man, I tell you what, the way the schedule was laid out, though, I mean, I know that I'm not saying that they were out to get the Browns, but this certainly didn't do them any favors. They have to close at the Bengals. Now, I know the Bengals aren't what we thought they were going to be, but when this schedule was made out, they were thought to be one of the top
they got,
2.
I mean, they got 4 of their first 5 games at home. That was a big advantage.
It was, but one of them is the 49ers.
Yeah, but
One of them was the Ravens. One of them was the Bengals.
I think the league needs to do a better job of having, if
home
possible,
away, home away.
Well, no, I was going to say that by the teams, every team in the same division, as often as possible, should be on a bye the same week or close to it.
I actually agree with that.
Yes,
Right?
from an advantage standpoint.
Right, it's not
Yeah.
fair that I think the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers all have late week buys.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember off the top of my head,
And
but
Joe Burrow, week 17, Burrow is different. Like I didn't see him.
he claims he feels the best he has in 2 months. I'll be interested to see how they. This is the last week for me for them. If he doesn't play well and they don't play well, they're done. If they lose this game,
Wow.
If they win this week and he looks like himself again, then it's a
Who do
whole
they
new
have?
season. Arizona.
Well, that's a get healthy game.
It's on the road.
I'll tell you
but-
this: 1-4, almost
No.
rubber stamps you.
It's
to
not even about
making the
1-4.
playoffs.
It's about him just not. And they
No,
just
I
not
know,
looking like a
but
good team.
what I'm saying is,
Yeah, 1-4.
that's
you're
a tough hold to do.
It
It's not
is.
impossible.
Yeah,
but you
but-
got it. You're looking at like finishing 10-2.
Right, but on the other hand, if he looks like himself again and they look like themselves and they're 2-3, then they're right there.
You're absolutely
It's a
right.
huge
Yeah.
difference. So that to me is
Well,
this
look,
is it.
in all likelihood, I think we all have the 49ers beating the Browns. If the Niners beat the Browns and the Bengals beat the Cardinals, then ostensibly they're 2-3. The Browns would still have, or the Bengals would still have a game in hand.
Right.
But so, everybody talked about the slow start for the Bengals, and the Browns got off to a hot start for a minute.
It's a long season.
It is a long
And
season.
the Ravens are playing. Who are the Ravens? Oh, Ravens and Steelers are playing each other this week.
Oh, good. So one of them has to lose.
Right.
It's just all those games to me. Even by the way, have you seen Russell Wilson's numbers?
He's killing it.
He's balling.
They're not.
It's
one and
garbage, garbage
three.
time numbers.
No,
Yeah,
no. Look,
His numbers is crazy.
they're
bro.
not 1-3 because of Russ this year.
No, he hasn't been.
They were bad last year because of
Yeah.
Russ. This year it's their defense.
I agree his numbers are a little inflated, Mike, but
What are they? 9 touchdowns, no picks?
Russell Wilson has 2 interceptions, 9 touchdowns. He's throwing for 100.
take out the Dolphins game. What are his numbers? Because the Dolphins game, that was all ridiculous garbage time. Take out that game. What's his number in the other 3?
Well, he only threw 1 touchdown that game. He threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions against Chicago.
That was a close game. They came
But the
back
Bears
and
are
won.
pathetic.
Yeah, but still.
I know.
They were up big on Washington, and he choked in the second half, but he still threw for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Weren't they down 28-0?
They were down 20 to the Bears, 28-7.
Oh, it's 28-7.
Yeah.
That's still a hell of a hole
It's
to
a
dig out of.
comeback. I mean, it's still
Yeah,
an
that's
NFL team. This
big.
is not like playing a MAC team.
No,
you
but
know.
you wonder, is that going to be what turns them around?
Yeah, it could be.
They
Sean
man.
Payton.
So he's played well so far, Russell.
I mean,
His QBR, which isn't a perfect stat, but
No.
it gives you, it's 1 through 100. Through 4 games, it's a 51.
That's
Despite
not
the
great.
fact he's thrown 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Not good
so.
at all.
a lot of those games that I thought was slam dunks, and it's just the way it's
the NFL.
It's just
Right now, the only 3 teams that seem completely hapless are Chicago, the Giants, and Carolina. Those teams. Now, the Bengals have been bad, but I'm not putting them in the hapless category.
No.
Those 3 teams are hapless.
And then you've got the 3
that's-
that you want to look at is are they juggernauts? You've got the Eagles and the 49ers in the
Yeah.
NFC. I think those teams are as complete and well-rounded
I think the Chiefs are right
as
there.
a team. And the Chiefs, although they've been human this year,
Yeah, so
and
far.
they easily could have lost that Jets game, I think that they're going to figure it out. They always do.
They always get better as the season
They're the
goes
Chiefs.
along. Yeah.
And the Dolphins, I don't know what to make of them with the 70-7 win.
Well, the
okay.
thing with the Dolphins, too, that you got to always have is that feels like one hit away from being out of football.
Yeah, it is scary.
And that kind of is just hanging
Yeah.
over them
And
a little
Buffalo.
bit.
Buffalo seems to have figured it out after
Yeah.
that terrible showing in week 1.
But like most of the teams teams 6 through 28 are probably not a huge difference right now.
Well, right now they're either 1-3 or 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of 2-2s.
yeah, but
All right.